Modern people are losing the ability to think deeply. Not because they became less intelligent. Because modern life changed the way the human mind functions. Most people now live in a constant state of stimulation. The brain never truly slows down. Notifications, short videos, noise, information, entertainment, attention constantly shifts from one thing to another before the mind can fully process anything deeply. And over time, that changes the structure of thought itself. People become mentally reactive instead of reflective. Impulsive instead of intentional. Fast stimulation trains the brain to avoid depth. That is why silence feels uncomfortable now. Most people are no longer used to being alone with their own thoughts. The moment the environment becomes quiet, the brain immediately searches for distraction again. Scrolling, music, videos, anything to escape mental stillness. And psychologically, that creates something dangerous. Because a distracted mind struggles to develop clarity. It struggles to think critically, to reflect deeply, to understand itself. Everything becomes shallow and fast. Even emotions. Modern people react emotionally faster now because their nervous system remains overstimulated constantly. The brain adapts to speed surprisingly quickly. And once the mind becomes conditioned to constant stimulation, deep focus starts feeling unnatural. That is why so many people say they feel mentally exhausted all the time. Not physically exhausted, mentally overloaded. Their attention never fully recovers. And attention controls far more than most people realize. Attention shapes thought. Thought shapes emotion. Emotion shapes behavior. Eventually, attention shapes identity itself. Whatever repeatedly controls your focus slowly changes the way you think about reality. That is why protecting attention became one of the most important psychological skills in modern life. Not only for productivity, but for mental stability, a calm, focused mind became rare. Because modern systems are designed to keep people emotionally reactive and constantly stimulated. The longer people stay distracted, the less likely they are to think independently. And independent thinking requires silence, depth, patience. All three became rare now. Most people consume endlessly but rarely reflect. They absorb information constantly without giving the brain time to process anything meaningfully. And eventually, the mind becomes crowded, overloaded, mentally fragmented. That is why many people feel disconnected from themselves today. Not because they lack potential. Because their attention became divided in too many directions for too long. A distracted brain struggles to feel peace. It keeps searching for stimulation automatically. And the dangerous part is that society normalized this completely. People laugh about having no attention span anymore. As if mental exhaustion became a personality trait instead of a psychological warning sign. But the people who learn how to protect their attention move differently through life. They think more clearly, react less emotionally, focus longer, reflect deeper. Not because they are naturally superior. Because they understand something most people ignore. Mental clarity requires silence. And silence became rare. That is why focused people often appear calmer. Their brain is not constantly overloaded by noise. They create space for thought. And deep thought changes everything. Better decisions, better emotional control, better understanding of reality itself. The modern world rewards reaction. But long-term growth still belongs to people who can think deeply while everyone else remains distracted. And maybe that is the real advantage now. Not motivation, not endless hustle, but the ability to remain mentally clear in a world designed to destroy focus slowly every single day.